Welcome back, everybody. Here's a quick update of what I'm doing with my HasLab Galactus. As you notice, you can see the Human Torch over there, Mr. Fantastic up in his head, a small Silver Surfer, and how I have him displayed is he is basically floating up in the air. Invisible Woman is over there, and Mr. Thing is over there. Alright, so welcome back again, guys. So sorry about how the camera was shaky with the Galactus, but I just wanted to show really quickly how I had it set up. So this is the review for the Last Sun Returns from Soosoo Toys. It's the 1/6 scale Kingdom Come Returns of Brandon Routh as Superman. I got this from NeoGeek Toys. This is not a sponsored video. It's actually the first time I've ordered from NeoGeek Toys. Now I was kind of nervous because the fonts they use in their website was kind of hard to see. And it was the first time I've ordered for them. I wasn't sure how they would be like, and I couldn't see any reviews on their site, but here it is. I paid it off, I think three or 4 days ago. I paid it off in full, and here it is. It arrived perfectly fine. The original box was a little dinged up, but that's not their fault. That's the carrier's fault. The box in itself was wrapped perfectly well. There's no damage or anything. Anyway, look at this figure. This is really amazing. The figure they chose for the cover art is really good. And the reason why I'm showing this is this an actual unboxing, by the way. Because when I opened this, I saw this one and I'm like, wow. Now, Superman Returns wasn't the best of film. It was too nostalgic for the Christopher Reeve Superman that I couldn't help but compare him to Christopher Reeve, you know, and the loss that we suffered from losing that actor for that particular role. But Brandon Routh has certainly grown into it. This costume is so much more better than the original design. So, oops, there goes Invisible Woman. Let's see how this looks like. Taking off the slip. These are the figures. I've never reviewed them. I've had them in my collection. I'm gonna use them for scale references. So it looks like a clip for the stand, 2 pairs of hands, figure itself. Oh my god, look at that. I've seen the reviews for this one, and I already knew what to expect for the leg, so my expectations have already been tempered. Okay, taking the figure out of the box. Straight out of the box, my friends. And that's why people are complaining about this cape, because it's fluffy. It does not sit very well with the figure, but I got this for the head sculpt because I think they did a good job capturing Brandon Routh. Certainly much better than this one, I think. Man. Choice. This one, maybe if they could have lowered it a little bit, I think. I wish it was a little bit bigger because, you know, with the Kingdom Come, the way Alex Ross painted it, he uses a wide insignia or symbol on the chest. But hold on a second, please. Sorry. Comparison. Seems to me, I'm using it, the reference for his chest muscles. I think it should have been just a little bit bigger, and this part, if it had been a little bit wider, it would be more prominent. But okay, I actually just recently bought a body from this company, so what I like about it is the joints are very stiff, very strong. Articulation on the shoulders. very stiff. And what's going on with the elbows? Oh yeah, very stiff elbows. I did not choose this body when I bought it. When I bought my other one, excuse me for a second, I'm gonna put it down. I know this is a review of Last Son, but I also want to show off a little bit of the muscle body, I think it's called. I'm gonna cover up his lower joints here. See, look at that bend though. That's amazing. The only thing is, anyway, I'm using this for a custom, but it's very, very stiff joints, which is what I'm noticing from this particular body. Now, there's something going on with his torso because it seems twisted this way. So let me put him in a neutral pose. Okay, so initially too, one of the things I didn't like was how they sculpted the thighs, because it seemed like it was, on the pictures that I'm seeing, is you can see this bow here, which is the way it should be, but then there was the way the inner calf was shown was this, and it's missing this muscle. So now I have it in hand, it's just a matter of twisting it so that it's displayed properly, like that. Okay, that makes more sense now. Still feel as if the abs, something wrong with it. Like it's, see, can you see that? So here are the abs, but then this is twisted off to the side. I'm pretty sure there has to be a bend in this thing, right? So this is also a review of the body itself, because I don't have this particular model of the body, and that is just irritating. The anatomy has to be right. Okay, so there is a twist, see? Okay, so it's just a matter of, like I said, very, very strong joints. Let me just do this off camera, sorry. Boy, the joint here is so tight, so tight. I would have to, I'm gonna have to undress this and then work on that, because that's, I don't want to do that. I don't want to leave it like this. There's something off it. Anyway, goes like that. So obviously when you want to play with this one, you want to make sure you're twisting the fabric when you're doing the extreme poses. It's gonna be almost like an A stance anyway. So I might replace the body. Not sure yet. I might replace the body. If I can't get rid of that little twist that I'm seeing here, see, in order to make that those abs look straight on, this is how the body will look to me. Straight on here, but this is pointing this way. Anyway, the costume cloth that they used, it's almost similar to how the Man of Steel was printed. Has raised pattern. It looks really nice. And then this one, definitely designed much better than the original Superman Returns, where it's like very skimpy looking. I still wish it could have been a little bit more bigger. I'm gonna work on fixing this because this is horrible. So that might be another reason why I want to replace the body. I'm gonna fix the cape because the cape is so puffy. So the review, the value. Well, you know what? Let me stand him up first. This is a custom. I used a Phison body because I feel this slim body was more proportionate to how Brandon Routh was in his earlier years as Superman. More slimmed down. I repainted the head and I did such a poor job on it. It's so glossy and everything. But this is from the Hot Toys. The costume is from the Hot Toys Superman Returns. And then I used the Phison body. Sorry for the jiggly. I'm just going to make sure everything's working like that. Why is it not focusing? So it's not bad. Comparing both of them, the height difference is not so bad. I thought it was going to be much taller. And then of course there's Christopher Reeve over there. He's going to be maybe like 10 or 20 millimeters lower. Oh, but he's on a stand. So he actually stands fairly well with this version. Reeves is going to be definitely smaller. Excuse me for a second. I do have the... I want to compare this one to this one as well. To this figure. This is the Transcendence Art Man of Steel figure. So this is not on the stand. It suffers the same thing with the... And look at that. Look at that. This guy is... oh, I think they're in the same body. Huh? Come on, man. Just stand. I think they are in the same body, so it makes sense that they would be about the same height. The same exact height. Sorry about that. This is not the head that comes with this figure. This is the Man of Steel head. Because I'll show you later. She doesn't want to stand. They're about the same height. So I took his head, the head that comes with the Transcendence Art. And I was kind of disappointed with that particular figure because it seemed so much more taller than the Hot Toys versions. But then I realized, I'm not sure if you guys have this figure or not, but if you do, the original Hot Toys Man of Steel figure was much more taller than the Christopher Reeve, and that was one of the main complaints we had back then. This is a modified version where I modified his costume so that this part. But camera a little bit. It's a little bit shorter, but it's actually almost the same height. Like right. Let me see what I can use. Like if I'm looking at the Routh's eye line, it's about this high. So it's almost negligible of how much taller this is, but the body is definitely much more bigger, which might present an issue. This is the head that came with the Art Transcendence, except if I were to have him stand with this guy, he actually stands okay. So I'm just gonna adjust this really quick, guys. I'm gonna have these 3 Superman here. So what do I think of this figure? I'm kind of disappointed with how that body is. I'm gonna have to take the costume out, the suit out, twist the body if I can, because this one I don't have any problems with it. It's just straight on. See, that one, I hope you guys can see the difference between the two now. That one really does bother me. I'm gonna have to take out the body, try to see if I can twist the upper torso into alignment, or I might just use a different body altogether so he's a little bit smaller. And then the cape is actually designed similarly to how the Man of Steel is. See how it's puffy and everything, but the nice pleats over here fixes it. And the way the wiring is done in this one goes inside. This one stops here, as most reviewers have pointed out. This was $220 to have to customize it to get a better deal. If it weren't for the Brandon Routh head, which I have been searching for a better one, and to pay $220 for that Brandon Routh head, so I can get an upgrade for this one. Is it worth it or not? I'm okay with it. It's it's so of a figure. I don't know why they chose that name, but it fits perfectly with how I'm reviewing this particular figure. It's only so. I tell you what though, if I end up cannibalizing this one, or if I end up seeing parts of this figure, I want to create a version of the Man of Steel that I've seen online where he has a proper S, using this head, because I did buy a new one of those, using this head, having an S curl on that head, and then putting red pants like those in this one. I've seen those online and it looks so much more cooler, and I want to use that for this Art Transcendence figure. It's just so weird. I know it uses the same body, but this one feels so much more better proportionally. Huh. That doesn't make sense, huh? Because this figure looks good, and yet this one, I should need to replace this body. The same freaking figure. I'm gonna, hold on guys, I'm just gonna see if I can. Okay. It uses the same base figure. I shouldn't need to. If I'm happy with that, then I should be happy with that one. I can tell you the difference that's kind of bugging me a little bit. The head, relative to the body, it makes the body look more bulky but proportionate to the Art Transcendence one. Reminding you that this is not the head that came with it. This is the Man of Steel head. But it works proportionately. This one, the head on this one is bigger. If you look at the features, the facial features in this one compared to that one, this one's bigger than that. That seems to be throwing off the scale a little bit for me. Compared from the body comparative to the face comparative to the body proportions. But the colors are vibrant. If I can fix the torso, I guess I could stay with it. I am also not a big fan of these bulky elbow joints. I'm sure I can use the body. I have several muscle bodies. I'm sure I can use the body for something else. This is 150. I would say it's $150 figure, not a 221. And if I remember correctly, the Soosoo toys that I've gotten previous from them, the Flash TV series, I was also disappointed in that figure, that I had to customize it heavily as well to fix it. Yeah, guys. So I hope this was kind of helpful. If you're interested in buying this figure, I would say as a custom fodder, it's useful. But are you guys willing to pay over $200 just to use parts of it? That's gonna be up to you. For me, I guess I'm kind of a fool to spend $200, but I really wanted that Brandon Routh head sculpt, and I know I can reuse that body, and I can reuse this. You will not see on any other figure a red underpants that has that texture that you can reuse for this one. If you're thinking of using turning a custom Man of Steel. So for me, it's worth it. I can fix it when I have the time. I can fix it to make it look better, and maybe I'll make a video of the final product that I want to produce in the end. Just before I close, I just want to show off the base. The base looks pretty cool. It's actually got a raised textured pattern here. I thought that was just a sticker from the reviews, but it's not. The S also raised. I really appreciate that. I just think it's a figure that had potential. That failed in terms of they failed the potential of the figure because of what they did with the cape, the fluffiness of it, and how it's wired. That's a fail. This is a fail. How this is, even this one right here, and this is a different company, right? This is Art Transcendence, this is Soosoo Toys. How they seem to think this is acceptable, it's not. Now, the Man of Steel suffered that too, but not as badly. And this one you can actually raise a little bit. So I know I can fix that. It's just kind of a shame that it looks like that out of the box. But anyway, that's a fail. This is a fail. The twist one, it seems like that's more of the body issue. So I'm not gonna fault them on that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So it definitely needs to be heavily customized, heavily futzed with to make it worth it. But I had to get it. I just Brandon Routh and Kingdom Come, as a Kingdom Come Superman from that CW show. I was really hoping he would be allowed to return back as Superman and do it properly, because now he looks so different from Christopher Reeve that he can stand on his own as his own Superman. Second update. So now we see the problem. So they added this muscle surface to this body. If you follow this curvature, it seems like it's straight, but see that? See how this thing is leaning off? This is to the edge, this is space here. So this is obviously, the upper torso is kind of slanted, right? Which is what was causing that problem I'm seeing out. It's twisted off. Like if your body was this, it's twisted off this way. And then this is glued on, it seems like, which removes that twist that this body is capable of. Can you see the issue I'm having now? See how there's space here? There's none here. I'm hoping this is only on my particular copy. Hope you guys are having a better time with it. But this removes any kind of twist that you can have in the body, and that is a big issue as well. Alright, I'll post some more if there's any more issues. Hey, guess what? It looks like this is going to be a customizing video as well. Here's the body naked. It looks really good. I don't even know why they had to do this. I guess I'll find out, because I intend on freaking removing that, so I can restore the twist that I have on this torso. But this body looks pretty dang good, except for that elbow bump. Look, the knees look good. So let me see. Sorry. Bend is good. The cut is horrible, but you know, what figure isn't unless it's a futzing, right? And that's gonna crack on you eventually. It's weird that they use a different kind of plastic color, but it's all hidden anyway. All right, now I'm gonna look through my bodies and see which I want to use. Man, the more I mess around with this figure, the more my opinion of this figure drops. So, as you've noticed, I put it on this bare body. This is the same body that they come in, so I can really mess around with it. And this is the only way to have this almost stretched out look. If you were putting him in a flight pose, that's the only way. There's no way, because the way they shaped this, the cut of the cloth, if you were to make this straight, this foot straight, it's gonna stretch from the back, because there's nothing in there. See, it's all tight. So if you put it, if you straighten out the foot, it can't help, it can't. See, it will start quenching. So the best you can do, if you want to stand, is that's the best you can do. The only way to display this figure properly with a good looking boot is to put it in a flight pose. And I've checked 3 other bodies. It just doesn't have the same physique as this one. So I'm going to have to take this off. I'll boil it. Hopefully the glue will start to deteriorate. The other thing too is I was hoping I could just use the same wire that's in this cape and push it in, and so I'll have a little bit of extra wire here so I can connect that to the main body, and that will fix the floppiness of how it sits on the shoulder. I can't do that because the way they cut it, I'll have to make a small rip over here to push the wire through. And if I'm going to do that, I might as well replace the wire, because then it becomes short here in the end. For all the, and oh, by the way, this is what I want to do with a, that's why I want that. Alright guys, another update. I got it off. It's glued here. It's glued here and here and here. I just dipped it in hot water. Really hot water. And I just slowly pried it off with a knife. That's where the knife was hitting. I don't know why it wasn't twisting. It should have, the way it was glued, but you know what? I think somebody glued it over here too. So it basically connected the two together. If I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix it so that it sits better, and I'll reuse the body. But see, if it had been glued properly, it would have just twisted okay. Nothing on the up and forward crunch, but I can see why they did it. It just adds a little bit to this part of it, so it's not right. I mean, it's, you know what, the other one doesn't have this. I don't even know why they included this, but this one, I don't think this one has it. It does. Alright. This is probably going to be a separate video. So I'll glue it back on. It'll have, I'll do it properly. And it should have a waist twist now. But, and I was looking at the photo that they have. It seems like that the ideal pose they were going for is that he is flying and he had those, the feet pointed downwards. So if you were going to copy that pose, then I guess what they did to the boots is not as criminal as I think it to be, but still though, it kind of lives the pose. Anyway, I'm gonna glue that in together, put the costume back, and rewire the cape, and that'll be the last video, I swear. Alright guys, so this is the last part of the video after all my futzing and changes. If you were to reference back to the very first unboxing clip of this part of this video, you'll notice that the head now is a little bit higher than it was originally. Now, this is not yet final because as I'll take it off, it comes off very easily. It's basically just standing there. I felt that the space between the neck, the chin, and the lower part, the upper part of his costume was too small. But as I look, I think it looks much better now, right? Before he had like a no neck syndrome, and also I've done the modification that I was talking about with the wire cape. I did need to make a small incision at the very top because the channel that the wire was running along the side of the cape ended right about here. I could not push the wire through anymore, so I had to make a very small incision so that I can poke the wire through. I had like about that. I took about that much, and I used that to make a sharp angle into the underneath the armpit. But that basically meant the bottom of the cape now does not have any wires. But as you can see from the result, it does sit much more flushed against his shoulder. I think I'm going to redo that again so I'll look for a little bit more thicker wire so it's a lot more stronger, because this one's still too thin, I believe, for this kind of cape. Cape is too thick. It's the 2-ply does not work, but this is what I'm stuck with, so I'm gonna have to work on that. So I'll rewire the cape once again. It's not that hard. The slit is still there, so I can just easily pull it out, put in the new one. And then of course I did the fix on the ab plate that they put on, so it's a little bit more straight now, as you can see. It does have a twist now, as I was showing on the earlier part of the video. And I'm using this pose now to copy the original photograph on the box when I unboxed it. And as you can see, as I pan down, the boots are a little bit more straight. It's still noticeable, but it's no longer horrible. But you can only achieve this using a flight pose where the toes are pointed down, because the way they patterned these boots, it just slants backwards like that. And you guys notice on an earlier part of the video when I had tried the boots on with the naked body, I was able to stretch this a little bit more taut. But because it was plastic, the material the boot was made of was clinging to the plastic, so it wasn't sliding down. Now that the pants are on, it doesn't have enough friction for it to stay taut. It's basically sliding down on its own. The material is very thick, so as you can see from the folds, so it does have a tendency to pull itself down. But as you can see, if you are not willing to replace the cloak to make it look the best as it is, and add more to the cost of the figure, it is possible to make it look good. As I'm panning out, that head sculpt is what makes this figure. And that head sculpt is what sold me to this figure. And it works, right? So I hope this video helps you make a decision whether it's worth spending the money or not. It's a little bit gratifying to be able to futz with a figure and make it look better than what was intended or what came out as the final product. But if you're not comfortable doing that, then you might not be happy with how this figure turns out when you buy it. But it's now capable of standing on its own with its presence, so that it won't look off with your collection. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helps you make a decision of whether you want this figure for yourself, whether it's worthwhile your money, because money is really important right now. It's really tight. So, and I hope this helps you guys out. Thank you, and I'll see you in my new collection video. Bye bye.